So this is another story from behind the coffee machine. Always make sure that you've got coffee to back you up when you're telling weird and wacky stories. So back in a previous life, I was once a cafe bakery owner, trained up to be a barista, but I had to go through 3 other careers before I finally found my happy place of making people coffee and cake beside the surf in Taranaki long ago. This is, I think, the most humorous, funny story that comes out of that period. So I had very good staff and I could come and go from the cafe as and when I chose and leave them in charge. But this is a story that made the staff laugh the most. So look, if you're ever going into a cafe and you see that the barista is grumpy, then there could be a couple of reasons behind it. One of them could be that he's having trouble with the milk. I learned, weirdly, that at a certain time of the year, the cows aren't doing their job. And so it's a struggle for the barista to stretch the milk. That's the name given to making the milk go frothy, in other words. And so if he's having trouble with it, he may be faking his front of house hospitality smile at you. Really deep down he's struggling. Or he could have encountered the revenge of the tomcat like I did. So at the back of my bakery, my bakehouse, cafe at the front, behind it was the bakehouse, and then behind that was my hideously expensive, beautiful, huge caravan where I lived while I was doing a renovation project on this cafe and bakery project. And I lived there with my cat Thomas, ginger and white Moggy, and we were very happy in our new caravan, except not long after I'd got it, I discovered that the insulation in it wasn't as trumped up as it should have been. I found out that the picture of the caravan in the sales promotion pamphlet showing it half buried in snow might have been good for warmth. It was no good as far as noise insulation was concerned, because at night time I could hear the tomcat, local pest, walking across the roof, and his paws and nothing else. And it used to wake me, and in the end I got so sick of it that one night when it woke me again, I shot out into the lounge, I flung open the fancy sophisticated skylight, shot my head, my bald head up through that skylight like a ballistic missile going out of a nuclear submarine, and bellowed at the tomcat. And read its pedigree to it, basically. As we all know, tomcats don't really have a pedigree, but anyway, I shouted that at it, and I thought that had sorted the problem. Thomas, my cat, knew that I wasn't a morning person, so he used to sleep in the far corner of the bed. And when I went back to bed that night, there he was, sitting up in the silhouette of the outside security light, watching what I'd done. But anyway, a couple of days later or so, I was out in the cafe, and when I had to say to myself, look, I'm just going back to my caravan to check something, went back in there, opened the door, and there I spotted on the sophisticated heating system grill, just inside the door, a whole lot of little yellowy, pale shaped droplets. Used to leave the door open for Thomas to come and go on a sunny day. And I looked at those droplets and I thought, oh, what's that? So I knelt down to check them, and I could smell the stench of the tomcat. I knew it wasn't Thomas because he wouldn't do that in our own place. Knew that it had to be this confounded cat. So I went back to the cafe, said to the staff, look, I've got a bit of a problem out there, got to go back and fix it, could be away for a couple of hours. They knew they could come and get me if they needed to, if they were getting slammed. So went back and did that, spent about 2 hours cleaning it. Had to take apart everything at the front, the grill and everything else, and get a little brush and clean all the heating elements and things in behind there. Soap and water. Finally thought I'd got it all, put it all back together, made a mistake. Switched on the heating unit onto fan, which exploded a stench of tomcat through every vent in the whole caravan. So I went back out there and told the staff what had happened, that I was going to be away for a little bit longer. I thought that they would understand. I thought they would show me the love, feel my pain, and show some certain compassion and pity. They all erupted in laughter. I think that was probably the most that I'd ever heard them laugh. So there you go. I hope that little story makes you laugh too.